My boyfriend got a happy ending massage and a STI. As per title yesterday, my boyfriend of 4 years confessed he got a happy ending massage while I was away on holiday. Long story short, we went on holiday, but he went back home before me because I had more holidays and wanted to spend extra time with my family. 4 weeks go by. I get home a few days ago and yesterday he dropped the bomb. While I was away roughly a week before I got home, he visited a massage parlor while still a bit drunk from the night before. Not only that, but as the guy was giving him a hand job, he started to give him some OL too, and that's how he contracted an STI, even though he says he retracted from it cause he didn't want OL. He didn't tell me straight away because I was back home with my family and he didn't want to ruin my holiday and our relationship while I was having a great time. And also not to put me in the situation of being on a plane for 20 plus hours sitting in my own thoughts worrying. He's definitely feeling like it because of it. He can't explain why he did it. He says that this is the first time in 4 years that he does something behind my back and he wants forgiveness. Now, something I was so sure of was that he'd never cheat on me cause he's always been an advocate for a monogamous, honest relationship, and this honestly destroyed any trust I had in him. I told him that I have no idea how to process this mentally, so the best thing is to try and keep it neutral until we go see a psychologist for some couple counseling. He'll be paying for it, and he says he's willing to do anything in his power to make this right, and that he doesn't want to lose me for something stupid that he unfortunately did. He seems very apologetic and willing to fix this. He says he's sorry for the pain he's causing me and for jeopardizing our relationship. But now all those words feel empty to me. Any advice? Thank you. Redditor's reaction story 2 after. Redditor 1. To clarify a few points of issue, he was okay with the happy ending, but drew the line at OL. There's some mental gymnastics at play to say that the first wasn't cheating. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't know where to go to get a happy ending. Yeah, I'm a female, so it's different, but it's not like places are advertising gay happy endings on billboards. I'm pro-equality for all, but less than 10% of the US population is LGBTQ, so that's kind of a minority clientele. My point here is that it didn't just happen, there was work involved to seek it out. I may not have much experience with S-time work, but everyone who expects to get paid will tell you the cost up front, and I would charge more for OL than I would for a HND job personally.
Stay tuned for more.
Still a bit drunk from the night before. The human body takes about 2 hours to neutralize each drink: 1 ounce hard liquor, 8 ounces of beer, etc. How do you feel about your partner drinking this much in excess, and claiming he's not responsible or is less responsible for his actions the next day? How on earth did he even get there physically if he was still drinking? If he's not responsible for his actions the next day, what did he do when he was plastered? He can't tell you why he did it, so he can't give any reassurance or confidence it won't happen again. I would really do some research on that STI, depending on what it is. You might not feel comfortable continuing the relationship. That's okay to feel that way. It's your health, and a relationship shouldn't make you feel unsafe, unhealthy, or at risk based on someone else's behavior. You know about this incident, it sounds like only because an STI issue. If your partner is engaging in high-risk practices in general, not taking precautions, and going to delay telling you the truth for whatever reasons they justify in their head and to you, is that putting your best interests as the priority? People cheat for many reasons, usually nothing to do with the person that's getting cheated on. It doesn't really matter what Reddit thinks, or what Reddit would do, it matters how you think and feel. Have you overcome betrayal before? Was it worth it? Answer. I'll answer following the list. Agree 100%. He knew this place because he went there years ago before meeting me. Don't ask me why or how, but I can't judge someone for something they've done long before meeting me. I can only judge for what he's done while in a relationship with me. What he told me about being drunk is that he was out all night with his mates, got home, had a nap, woke up and went to this place where you can just walk in without an appointment. Absolutely right. I've been telling him that he needs to figure out why he did it. Otherwise the whole thing is pointless to even start addressing. This STI thing confuses me too. I did some research and it's a highly infectious bacteria like an UTI. He said that he wants me to go to the clinic with him and he's gonna ask the nurse to explain to me how you could realistically get it, and if what he's saying is the truth, definitely not. However, I'm glad he didn't tell me while I was on holiday with my family. The whole flight back would have been a nightmare for me, so on one side I'd wish he'd tell me straight away, on the other for my own mental health I'm glad I didn't know up until I got home. That way I didn't end my holiday with the thought that my partner cheated and got an STI while back home on the other side of the planet. Redditor 2. First of all, I'm sorry. You must be hurting and feeling so much tough stuff. Chances are he's lying and there have been more incidents. Isn't it virtually impossible to catch an STI from a hand job? So the OAL went longer than he's saying, or it was more than OAL, or there are other incidents. Putting that aside, the burden is on him to make amends and seek forgiveness, not demand forgiveness and push you both into counseling. You don't have to stay in this relationship, I wouldn't. And you don't have to forgive him. You can also, eventually over time, choose to forgive him, and still not stay in a relationship with him. If he didn't contract an STI, I think he wouldn't have told you this. I wouldn't believe anything he tells you anymore. Please consider therapy just for yourself to help process all this, and don't commit to couples therapy or forgiveness or anything. Best of luck to you. Redditor follow up. The likelihood of him getting an STI from receiving OAL is remarkably low too, less so for the giver. Redditor 3. Now you know he can't go any length of time separate from you without seeking out S-time workers. I'm honestly not buying that he contracted an STD from a brief lick. But if that's what he wants to feed you, so be it. Look up the concept of trickle truthing.
Stay tuned for more.
Story 2. My girlfriend is ashamed of my culture, background, and family. Hey everyone, I'm 26. I'm having a bit of a relationship crisis right now with my 6-year girlfriend 24F. So my girlfriend is on her yearly family trip to Canada for the last 2 weeks. I'm not sure what has been said while she was there, but she called me up yesterday saying that she is afraid of what her family will think of mine when they meet. To give some context, her family is white and wealthy. She grew up in a mansion next to multiple celebrities. Her dad is a doctor, her mom is a nurse, all of her siblings pursued higher education. She just graduated law school and is starting a new job soon. I'm very proud of them. On the other hand, I'm the only one in my family that went to college. I'm a pretty successful software engineer and make a good amount of money for someone my age of 26. My parents immigrated to this country from Mexico when they were children and never finished high school. My dad is a hard-working man who always provided for his family. He works construction and operates cranes. My mother is a stay-at-home mom and an amazing chef who raised 4 loving children. I am proud of my family and I love them very much. However, my girlfriend does not feel this way. She is embarrassed to tell her parents that my parents never pursued higher education or have some fancy white-collar job. None of my siblings went to university and 2 of them deliver WEd for a living. We live in California, so it is legal. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. However, my girlfriend looks down on it. I have a loving family and come from a humble background, but her and her family don't see it that way. They value career and education more than anything, which leads to harsh judgments on my family that I don't think they deserve. I'm not sure what to do here. In my heart, I believe my girlfriend should be proud of who I am and embrace my family, not be embarrassed about them and scared to tell her parents where we come from. Is our relationship doomed? How can I forgive a girl that basically looks down on my family for having a different lifestyle?
Stay tuned for more.
Redditor's reaction. Story 3 after. Redditor 1. She doesn't sound very well educated if she has the gall to look down on a couple who came to another country and still managed to succeed and raise a family. Sheesh. I understand you love your girlfriend, but she is wrong about this and you need to have an honest but stern discussion before you move forward with her. Redditor follow up. According to my thought, they are going to have more challenges. It doesn't surprise me that she's an elitist. It bothers me that it took her so long to find out. But people tend to rebel against their family's culture before finally returning and embracing it, for the most part. I dated a woman whose family thought they were better than mine because they were a higher social class. But then I found out that her dad had been a Catholic Jesuit priest and her mother had been a nun. And that he crept into her room at night and tried to pay her, beginning at age 6. Some peso in my neighborhood tried to touch my brother once, and my dad, a gentleman but a veteran of brutal combat and a big man, went down to his house, pinned him against the wall and choked him out. Redditor 2. She needs to accept this and be honest. If her parents are rude, she should stop them and stand up for you. If she isn't doing this, then simply she isn't the one you should be with. What with other important things in life? Kids? How would you teach them to act? How is she acting towards people who are poor? Servers. You can see a lot from someone's behavior. You may love her but turn a blind eye to some things. Think about it and see if you truly are compatible to be together. Answer. She can be a bit inconsiderate to people who grew up less fortunate than her sometimes. She doesn't fully understand that people from different backgrounds don't always pursue the same path that her family has instilled in her. She can often be critical of people in my family that don't do things by the book or make bad financial life decisions. There isn't much empathy there. That being said, she never says any of this to their face, only to me in private, which I've kind of been bottling up. Her opinions about my family have subconsciously affected the way I view them, and until yesterday I didn't realize that. She is also terrified of her parents and would never stand up to them. They are extremely opinionated and her siblings usually back them up, so she is outnumbered. I have also experienced a schism a couple of times at their house, which was the only time she ever said anything. Luckily they apologized for that, but it did happen again a few months later when they basically told me that dark-skinned people are seen as laborers.
Stay tuned for more.
Redditor 3. I think you really need to nail down if she is just afraid of introducing your family to hers, or if regardless of that she would still look down on your family. If it's the former, that's a reasonable fear. We can't control our families, so there's not much to be done about that. If it's the later, then you can appeal to her value of career and education. Not all jobs should require a college education, but we need people to do all jobs, therefore not everyone should go to college. There are plenty of careers that are well-paying that don't need a college degree. Why should someone spend years and thousands of dollars in college if they don't need the degree to do the job they want? Her mom didn't get a doctorate to become a nurse, she got only just enough education that she needed and then went to work. Your family did the same. Answer. She is afraid of introducing my family to hers because she knows how critical they can be. This leads me to believe that she agrees with them since she thinks there is a problem with us in the first place. Her parents are older and pretty stuck in their ways. I have spent time around them and they always talk about how higher education and making a lot of money is the only way to success. Very narrow-minded, I know, but it worked for them, so I guess that's why they believe it. Story 3. My fiancé wants a threesome but I don't. I 26 meters am engaged to my fiancé 27F of 1 year and 8 months. Her friend split from her boyfriend of 7 years and went back home and is talking to my fiancé about her hookups and threesomes and such constantly. Me and my fiancé were talking and randomly brought up that she has a fantasy of a threesome with 2 guys, and I responded that I don't think I could handle that. I am faithful to her and could not think about someone else, even mutually agreed upon, sleeping with her. When asked if I ever had a fantasy about a 3-way with 2 girls, I answered honestly and told her no because I haven't. I feel very hurt by it and explained that a bit to her, but she says she understands and drops it, but it comes up later. I couldn't dream of telling her I want to sleep with another woman, even with her involved. She has said she knows it won't happen and she won't act on it because I'm not on board, but that doesn't make me feel better. In fact, quite the opposite, because I feel inadequate and that I can't fulfill her fantasy. We have a very active life in the bedroom and are involved in to be small. Please, any advice will be helpful.
Stay tuned for more.
Redditor's reaction. Story 4 after. Redditor 1. I would pump the brakes on wifing her up. You may have some baseline compatibility issues. She likes 2DCKS and you only have 1. Redditor follow up. They are incompatible if they have differing opinions on the amount on genitalia that should be involved in the relationship. Redditor 2. There is a possible compromise here if you buy a dildo, it will act as the second penis and she can potentially fulfill her fantasy without there being another guy there. I know it sounds crazy, but talk to her about it. Redditor follow up. This is good advice. You can control how much stimulation to give her while she is giving you OL. Just one example of many to explore. Redditor 3. Pump the brakes on that one, buddy. Story 4. My 23M long-term GF 23F of 1 year said I'm fine but she could probably do better than me. It's probably true but it still hurts. Basically the title, she asked me to fetch her phone. I saw my name in a chat, and although I don't ever snoop, curiosity got the better of me and I read it. She was discussing SOs with a friend and said that while I was fine and that she liked me, she could probably do better than me. Worst part is it's basically true. She's a very attractive social person and I'm an okay-looking introvert. I've always counted myself lucky for being able to land her, and as such I've always gone the extra mile with her, to make her feel special and cherished and all that. I honestly think I've been a pretty good and attentive BF, but yeah, this hurts. Kind bad. And it's bringing up entangled resentments I never even knew I had. I don't think my GF is a bad GF, she's also attentive and giving, but I would say that whereas I'm willing to go the extra mile, i.e., doing romantic and thoughtful gestures, she doesn't much. I've never really been bothered by that because, the extra mile is just that extra. Asking her to do the same would be unreasonable and needy, but now in the light of this it doesn't sit well with me. It's a bit crazy. Until yesterday I would say that we had a very healthy relationship, but now I feel like I've always been more invested in it than her. And yeah, it's probably true. Honestly, she could probably get someone who's better looking than me, judging by the people who I've seen hit on her, but I just feel really shitty overall. Is this something that's okay to break up over? Like I said, it's probably true and it wasn't directed to me, and she's always been a good albeit not spectacular GF, so am I just overreacting here?
Stay tuned for more.
Redditor's reactions. Comment. Yeah, after stewing on it a bit more, I decided I'm going to talk to her later today about this, and possibly break up with her depending on how the conversation goes. Redditor 2. Please leave. Never be with someone who makes you feel like an option. Never be with someone who can choose someone else over you. It's literally the worst thing ever. Redditor follow up. Never be with someone who makes you feel like an option. That says everything. Walk away. Redditor 3. Hey man. That's a sad attitude for her to have. I wouldn't want to be with someone where that is how they felt about me. And sure, it is true, there is always better out there. There's always someone better looking, funnier, more successful, you name it, except in a relationship, both people know that, yet still choose each other every single day. Despite knowing there could be greener grass, they still want to build a life with the other. If you don't feel she is sincerely choosing you every day and wants to build a meaningful future with you, I would cut my losses sooner rather than later.